Monster Magazine Weekly, the only show that isn't weekly. It's me, Vance Capley, and
Ricky Blaylock.
And we're here to pump you up. No, we're here for another week of fun and frivolity. This hat was from WFET 29 here in Middle Tennessee. They're out of Lewisburg, Tennessee. And they've been showing some vintage horror films here recently. And the other morning I got up and they were showing Not Living Dead at 6 a.m. in the morning. They also showed, Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. They showed Nosferatu. They showed, some camera movies. So, yeah, it was real nice of them to send me this. So, you know, if you're in the... Yeah.
That channel, it's not available on like the cable or anything? You got to pick it up with an antenna?
Mm-hmm. All you need is, in my studio, I have a small antenna. It's about yay big, and I can pick it up with that.
Okay.
Yeah. And, yeah, it's a cool channel. And there's 3 channels. One's country music, one's old movies, and the other one's TV shows. And
do they have a studio in Lewisburg? Or
yeah, that's
somebody's house? Or?
No, it's a place down there. I thought about going down there and see if I can hang out. Because they're going to have their own news program, yeah.
Hey, maybe we should see if we can't get a show or something on there. Mm-hmm.
So, if anyone from WFET is watching, we would love to do something like this on a Friday or Saturday night on your channel. Anyway, enough rambling.
Maybe me and you and David could host a monster movie.
That's what I'm talking about. The man's thinking. So anyway, last week we had just said we were going to talk about video games. Yes. And Ricky was talking about Biohazard, which is known in the States as Resident Evil. So tell me about Resident Evil. Pretend I've never played it. I've only played it, truthfully, about 3 times.
Really?
Yep, only 3 times.
Which version?
Can't remember.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Probably 1.
Well, 3 is Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
I was in my 20s, so that'd be 1, wouldn't it?
1 or 2, probably.
Okay.
Maybe. Well, Resident Evil 3 came out in 99.
Right.
So that was 21 years ago. So you'd have been in your 20s.
Yeah.
I was in my 30s. Got made fun of a lot for playing them, but my nephews got me to playing them.
Yeah, but you liked it though, didn't you?
Yeah, I liked it because
of what?
I sucked at the basketball games. I sucked at the football game. I sucked at the baseball game. But the Resident Evil game, I could like kick its butt.
Yeah.
You know, I guess it's a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
You know, I got pretty good at it. The first one was hard until you got into the game and you got your weapons and everything, because you start off, you've got some knife.
Well, what's the basic story of the game for the audience who doesn't know?
Well,
it's about zombies.
Yeah,
obviously.
It's about zombies. It's about a company called Umbrella that had developed the T-virus.
Right.
And they were going to use it it was originally supposed to be used to help, sick people, people with diseases where they couldn't walk or anything. Well, they turned it into a weapon.
Oh, cool.
And it got out, of course. And your job is to go kill all the zombies and, I guess in the process, destroy the lab and everything you can.
Yeah.
And the first one was set in a mansion, and went from a mansion to a lab and everything, and it was pretty hard. And then Resident Evil 2 is you're in the city where the mansion and everything was located. Well, the virus has gotten out into the town.
Oh, crap.
And you're running loose in town. You're in the streets. You're in the subways.
God.
Fighting it. And then so Resident Evil 3 is basically about the same, except they introduce a new boss called Nemesis.
Yeah.
And you have to fight him several times during the game. Gosh. And then Resident Evil 4, they totally changed it. You're in another country, and you're not fighting zombies anymore. You're fighting these people that are infected with this parasite.
Oh, wow.
And it's basically the same. You're fighting the people with the parasite and everything.
So what do they do? Act all crazy? And
they act all crazy, try to kill you and everything. And but you play the game and you collect money, in different spots. Money for killing the bosses and everything, and find money here and there. And you can upgrade your weapons. by depending on how much money you've got.
Oh, wow.
And I've played it so much, I've got all of the weapons are all upgraded up to the top. I've got the infinite rocket launcher, which
Right.
is unlimited ammo, the unlimited Tommy gun. It's called the Chicago typewriter, but it's a Tommy gun.
Yeah.
You know, and I've got that. So I've got all the weapons are upgraded. I've got every weapon that you can get on it, and I've still got $14 million in my bag.
Dang. And it's all saved like on a
Yeah,
SD
on
card
a little,
drive.
little memory card.
Memory
for
card, that's
PlayStation.
it, yeah.
And then you've got Resident Evil Code Veronica, where you're in another mansion and you're in Antarctica, and you know. But after that, they came out with Resident Evil 5,
Yeah.
and I think 6 and 7.
Dang.
I haven't played any of those because it's an upgraded PlayStation, but I've played it. But the controls, it's really hard to get used to the controls after being used to the 1, 2, 3, 4, and the other ones.
Did you see where the PlayStation's releasing a new PlayStation system that will play older games from PS1 all the way up?
All the way up, yeah. It'd
I
be
bet
nice
that's
to have
expensive. I bet it's expensive.
that. It probably is expensive.
But if y'all want to give it to us, we're cool.
Yeah, we'll be more than happy to take it off your hands.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the, and I think Resident Evil 4 is my favorite video game of all time.
Oh, cool.
Even better than, you know, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Dragon's Lair.
Look, man, I never got to play Dragon's Lair.
You never got to play that?
Nope.
I mean,
By the time I got to an arcade, they were out. They was already gone.
oh, it was a hard game for the time it came
Oh,
out. It
yeah.
took me forever to beat it.
Would you play it? Fun Tunnel?
Pirates Cove.
Pirates Cove.
Not Fun Tunnel.
Back in the day, there was, in our mall, there was, which is nothing now, but back in the day, they had all the cool stuff, and they had a place called Pirates Cove. Video games, it was great. And then when time went on, they changed it to Fun Tunnel. But it seemed like the games kind of weren't as cool after it changed names.
No, they weren't.
When it's Pirates Cove, also the older kids were in there a lot. But when they become Fun Tunnel, it's like younger people were in there more.
I know that's the first video game I ever played was
Pong.
Space Invaders.
Really?
Well, of course Pong, but that really didn't count because we lived out in the country and we didn't have Pong.
Yeah.
We got Space Invaders, and then one year for Christmas we got an Atari 2600, and we were big time stuff then.
Dude, I still got my 2600 in this room back here. My 2600 still in there with the cartridges. And
We've got mine's out at my old brother's house where my parents lived.
hey, if it still works, still play
It doesn't really still work. We got it out one day and was playing it, and my
Love it.
nephews were like, "Oh my god, how did you watch this? These graphics suck."
Yeah, it wasn't the
And I
graphics,
was
it was a
like,
game. You
Yeah,
played
and
it.
I was like, well, when we were kids, this was the best stuff you could get.
Oh, yeah.
Because we got the first year we got it, we got 3 games. We got 3 games. We got Space Invaders.
Right.
We got Asteroids, and we got football.
Dang.
And I sat in there one Saturday. I think I was probably 13, 14 years old. It was in the wintertime when we didn't have any work to do.
Exactly. That's
So
when we played it, yeah.
I played Asteroids from the time I got up until the time I went to bed.
Oh, man.
And had like 10 million points in it because I gotten to the point where I could, dodge everything.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, how can you sit in front of that thing all day long and play that game?
Yep.
And now there were times, on the weekends where I would play the Resident Evil games.
Yeah.
From like Friday night to 3 o'clock in the morning Saturday night.
Yeah.
Trying to beat it.
Do you think you could do that now? Stay up all night and play games?
No, I couldn't do that now. Now I've sat here recently. I got it back out.
Yeah.
And it's hooked up. So I've got it in my studio, or I hate to call it the studio because that's where you make records or
What's the
or the
art studio?
news.
What's an art studio?
My drawing room, we'll say. On this side above my drafting table, I've got my TV that's hooked to my DVD player, so I watch movies while I'm drawing.
Yeah.
And behind me is my desk where my computer's at, but I've got a widescreen TV hooked up to the computer.
Yeah,
so
I saw that.
I watch the TV. I can do either play video games or I can do stuff on the computer.
That's
and
cool.
so here recently, I busted out the PlayStation, and I played Resident Evil 3 and Resident Evil 4.
Are you going to leave it hooked up like that?
Yeah, I'll probably just leave it hooked up.
That's a good idea. Steady Crafting's channel, he's called The Craftsman.
Mm-hmm.
He was showing a tour of his studio, and in the corner of his studio, he has a little TV set, and he has his old 2600 attached to it. So when he's waiting for something to dry or cure, he just goes over and starts playing Atari games. It was more like a game, like a board game. You'd play it and then put it away.
Yeah.
And the only time, like you said, the only time you stayed up playing it is if school was out or it was cold and snowy or whatever.
Because during the summertime, we might get to play it a little bit late at night.
Yeah.
But usually during the summer, when school was out, we were either hauling hay or working in tobacco.
Yeah.
From like 6 o'clock in the morning until it got dark.
Yeah.
Then we might come home after we ate and play a little bit. But yeah, for the biggest part, that was a wintertime thing.
Oh, yeah. Ours was, like you said, late at night in the summer or in the cold of winter. And you still had to do your chores, but it was like in winter, I mean, what else can you do?
Well, in the wintertime, sometimes too, we would have to strip tobacco. So.
Well, yeah, we didn't get to do the tobacco. We did, for winter, we mostly just cut wood. That's all I remember for winter.
Well, see, we had already cut, we always cut wood the year before.
Let it dry out.
To let it dry out. And then in the wintertime, we didn't have to really do nothing because part of what the tobacco and hauling hay and everything, we would have to take the wood that we had cut last fall or, towards the end of the summer and bust it all up and stack it.
Oh, yeah.
There used to be a humongous pile of wood out there, and then one of these days my dad would come over there, "You see that big pile of wood out there?" He was like, "Yeah." He goes, "I want all that busted and stacked up by the time I get home." Or sometimes we'd have a pile, there was a pile so big, he goes, "I want all this wood busted and stacked up by the end of the week."
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes we would either make games on like, see who could split a log without in the fewest licks or something like that. And then the older we got, we got smart, and we was like, I think we could do this, we could do that. And one day, my dad left. We pulled the tractor down, and I can't remember how we did it, but somehow or another, we managed to make I guess you'd call a redneck log splitter.
Yeah.
And we had all that wood split and stacked up by the time he got home.
That's good.
And him and his brothers were like, "Well, how did y'all do that?"
Yeah.
We wouldn't tell him.
What'd you do?
We had took the tractor and the power takeoff, and we had put a belt on it and put some other stuff on it, and we had mounted an awl.
Oh, wow.
And as the belt turned, it pushed it into the awl, and it just split it open.
Dang, that's a good idea. We was out there just
and
doing
it's probably 1,000 wonders that one of us didn't get killed doing it.
That's probably why our parents didn't fuss about us having video games, keep us from doing a bunch of crap.
Because we still, even though we had those video games, we still got out and did stuff.
Well, I'm talking about in trouble wise.
We never got in trouble.
Never got caught, you should say.
Well, yeah, I never got caught. I did some stuff I should have got in trouble for, but I just didn't get caught where my 3 brothers did.
So, ratting them out, are you?
No, I didn't rat them out. They ratted themselves out getting caught.
Well, this is true.
I was sneaky, and me and David were sneaky enough that we just didn't get caught.
Now, most of you are wondering where David is. He's not available for this video, but he will be back, so don't worry about that. So, anyway, I had 2 favorite games on my Atari 2600 I played the fire out of. Yours, Revenge. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
And, what was it? The Activision game Spider Fighter, which I beat, and I just absolutely love that game.
Activision made some good games.
Oh yeah.
They had a fishing game.
Oh yeah.
For its time, that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
But what do you think the worst Atari game ever was? I already know my answer, and I've still got it.
I've got one of these. I'm gonna say 2, and one of these I still got, and it's just a horrible. I hated the Superman game and the E.T. game.
The E.T. is the worst Atari game of all time.
Why did they make that?
And the funny thing about it is, the one that's worth the most money is the ET game.
That's just sad. It has to be a certain condition, by the way. You know, we're not millionaires, so there you go.
Because they actually had, I think it was out in California or somewhere, they sold so bad after it came out because...
Is that where they put them out in the field and buried them?
They buried them in from what I understand, they buried them in like a big storage container or a tractor-trailer truck. Just like thousands of these games, they buried them. And these people spent all this money and time to find this thing, and they finally found it.
Man, I bet they're still all in the original package.
Yeah, they're still all in the original package, sealed and everything. But it was so bad. I mean, there was one part of it where E.T. would fall into a pit.
Yeah.
And if you fell into the pit,
it's done.
It's done. There's no way you can get out.
And it wouldn't stop though. The game
and it wouldn't
kept
stop.
going.
It just kept going. It wouldn't cut off.
Sucked.
You couldn't cut it off. You actually had to turn the power to the game off and pull it out, and then put your new game in. Put your other game in.
Yeah. And by that point, after you sit there for 20 minutes trying to get him to jump out of the hole, you didn't want to reset it and play it again. You just
wanted to stop it.
Yeah. Fling that thing.
Now, Pitfall was a fun game.
Oh, yeah.
2600.
There's a generic version of Pitfall. Coconut something?
Oh, I don't know.
Can't remember.
But the football and baseball games, they're just... You look at those now, and you know we used to play them all day long.
Oh yeah.
And you look at those two now. You know, Space Invaders. I mean, it is what it is. It's just like the game.
Exactly.
You know, and it's still kind of cool looking. But if you look at like the baseball game or the football game now, and you look at what they've got today, you're like, you know, my nephew was kind of right. This does suck. But you know, at the time, it was the coolest thing ever.
Oh, did you find the glitch on the baseball game?
No.
If you get to third base, and I think if you just kind of push him off screen to the left.
Wait a minute. I think we did get the what? I can't remember what would happen.
It was like they couldn't tag him, catch him with the baseball. You just walk all the way around. You can just leave the base, but
now, I remember that getting like on third base and doing that. You could just like the score would go ding, ding, ding.
Yeah,
ding,
that
ding,
was
ding,
other
ding.
fault in it too.
Yeah.
But there was like if you went to the over to the left, left. If you went to the left, remember it would just like turn like we call it transparent.
Yeah.
And you just walk all over the screen and junk, and it never would chase you or
That's the way this one would do. It would kind of turn transparent, but it would kind of flash.
Yeah, I didn't do
And every time it flashed, like if I was on third base playing you, my score would go ding, ding, ding.
Oh,
ding,
man.
ding, ding. And I remember doing that. I remember doing that. Look at all them. Hey, you like that? He get mad.
Let's see. I think I think that's it on video games.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know about Resident Evil and some of the old Atari games, and that's pretty sad.
Well, I mean,
like
that's
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
My nephews and them played it. I just really don't get it. Now, I'll tell you what, there is one game that me and my nephews used to play all the time. It was constantly, we were playing. If we wasn't playing Resident Evil, they had a game called, for the PlayStation 2, it was called Rumble Racing.
I remember that.
That was one of the funnest games ever. That you could do two players with.
Yeah.
You know, like Resident Evil, it's just a one-person game.
Right.
But Rumble Racing, like me and you could play on that. Oh, man, me and my nephews used to just all day long. Yeah, I'm kicking your tail.
A game that me and Steven plays a lot on his old PlayStation 2 system is the Simpsons Road Rage.
I've played that before, too. I'm not real good at it, but it was kind of fun.
It's hard to keep up with everything when it's like two people playing at once because it's split screen.
And there was like two different versions of the Namco's Greatest Hits.
Oh, yeah.
We had those. One had Pole Position. One had Galaga and Galaxian.
Yeah.
Dig Dug and all that stuff. And I'm trying to think of what was on the other ones, too. It wasn't Pole Position, but it was a game similar to Pole Position. It had that game, and it had Pole Position 2.
Oh, wow.
On it. And me and Jenny and Abby got to where we were playing Pole Position.
Yeah.
Like crazy. When she was like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
So that's probably 11 years ago.
Do you remember, okay, like if you could go back to Fun Tunnel in your mind, what were some of your favorite, or Pirates Cove, what was some of your favorite video games that were in
That were
there?
in there.
Yeah.
Well, of course, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man,
Right.
Dragon's Lair, and then they had a tank game
Yeah.
that you would stand up at, and you had like tank controls right here, but you looked into like a little screen,
Yeah.
and it looked like
Is it Battlezone?
it might have been, but it was a tank. You were in tanks, but the tanks looked like night vision, but they weren't like.
Yeah.
They were computer, for the time.
Yeah.
It was, that game, and I haven't been able to find that anywhere.
Man, try to look up Battlezone. It might be that.
I'd have to look at one of the screenshots.
Well, that's what I'm
or something
saying.
like that. It might be it, but I used to play that one a lot.
There were two games that if I was in the mall, I would have to play them. And one was this Spider-Man game where you could be Submariner. And, of course, Submariner is one of my favorites, so I had to play it. But the number one favorite for me to play was the Terminator game with the machine guns. Do you remember that one that was in there? Oh, my God. One afternoon, I spent over $20 playing that. I had to. I just stood there. Of course, I was 17 years old, so what are you going to do? And Ricky's looking it up now. The Battlezone video game. If you can get a screenshot, we'll pull it up and show you our lovely audience.
See if this is it. That is it. That's what the tanks look like.
Yeah, there's an Atari version which I have. I don't have the fancy one. I have the Atari version.
That may be the Atari one.
All right, cool.
That's the one I remember playing.
Yeah, I don't have the boxes no more, just the cartridges.
Yeah, all of our boxes are gone.
Yeah, there you go.
Naturally, it's gonna pull up YouTube.
But
That's the one I want to try to find.
well, you got to find it. Just make sure the volume's down so don't give us a mark on YouTube. La 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 la. Okay. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, the arcade.
Oh, so it's got
version.
you can get it, but it's got a classic mode.
Oh, that's nice. I wonder if you can get it for PS2.
I don't know.
That's what you have, right? PS2 machine.
Yeah, PlayStation 2.
Well, it looks like that's the end, folks. We thank you so much for watching Monster Magazine Weekly. I know we didn't talk about a whole lot of monsters, but we did. Now, hold on a minute. We mentioned alien invasions,
Yes.
zombies, what else? E.T.,
Asteroids.
Terminator, asteroids. You know, we covered a lot of stuff, a lot of monstery stuff.
Pretty much.
Yeah, for anyone below the 80s who didn't grow up during this time period, sorry. For anyone who grew up in the 80s, yay, memories.
Yeah. We got to witness the birth of video games.
Yep, that is true. So, thank you for watching Monster Magazine. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Vance Capley.
Ricky Blaylock.
And we'll see you on the next Monster Magazine.